Hi, this is Dr. Paul Fitzgerald. Recently, I had inquiries about how I keep all the information I've read and copied and analyzed, how I keep it all together so I can actually pull information together. I want to share a bit because I suspect there's some other people out there who might be interested in a way to do that too, because I know some of you can keep a lot of information too, and you want to have it at your fingertips because it's important information. Having all these books and that we've got put notes in, but can't remember where we both put the note, it's really a waste of time. So some years ago, I began developing what I call a second brain. I didn't invent it; somebody else invented the idea of a second brain. And so I thought I'd take some time today to just spend a few minutes to share how I put together my second brain. Here's the workflow. At the top, you see some orange boxes, and those are inputs from various places. For example, on the left side, there are websites that I run across that have a lot of great information. And I have a web clipper on my browser that will put it into Readwise Reader. And then I can read it in that place and I can highlight it. And my highlights will automatically go, along with any notes I make, into a program called Readwise. And then that automatically syncs into my second brain in a program called Obsidian. So some of it I have to clip, but then I read, make notes, and automatically wind up in my second brain. PDF files the same way. I can put those in Readwise Reader and highlight them, make notes, and all that shows up in my Obsidian. Some books are available in EPUB form, like a PDF, and I can put it into Readwise Reader. I highlight it, I make notes, and it winds up in my second brain. On the left side, Kindle books the same way. I read a lot of Kindle books. I highlight them, make notes, and those highlights and notes wind up in Readwise, and then it winds up in my second brain. I read books, obviously, take notes, and I type those notes or scan those notes, and they wind up in my Obsidian Vault. There are now prompts that I gather. These are for artificial intelligence, for ChatGTP, Claude, some image software. I put those in a program called Drafts. I have to look at them. That's a holding spot, any kind of a convenient holding spot. But once I look at them and I decide, yeah, I want to keep that, then I wind up copying and pasting it into my Obsidian. And then I do a lot of research and I do a lot of use of artificial intelligence. It comes out of the prompt and it goes into either a Google Doc, which I look at it for a while because sometimes the things you get back are really they're so generic they're not worth keeping. Sometimes they're outlined lies. Artificial intelligence sometimes hallucinates. But if it works, then I'm going to put it in my Obsidian so I can recall it. And then I have a program called Perplexity, which is a great alternative to Google search. Gives you a lot more detailed information. I use it for a lot of research. And good research goes into my Obsidian. My Obsidian becomes my second brain. So what good is it to have it in one place if you can't get to it, if you can't figure it out? I will show you a little bit about my Obsidian. It's a free program, by the way, which is really fantastic. On the left side, you'll see some categories. These are like folders, except I don't really use folders. I used to use folders with another system, but then you got to remember what folder you put it in, and it becomes really challenging. So most of my notes go into the folder there called cards. I have thousands of cards in there, and they would all be lost if I didn't have a navigation system. In my Obsidian, there's a category called Atlas. And under Atlas, I have a group of what's called mocks or maps of content. So anything that I think I really want to have a lot of information about, rather than scattering it, I gather it under the mock. So it's under that part of my atlas, of my information atlas. For example, I have a mock of about, let's see, focusing in trauma. And so I can click on that and it takes me to that mock and it takes me to the item that's under it. In this case, there's only one item there. And There's the item. I can get to it exactly right there. And then I can go back up and I can go back up and I can go back eventually to home. Home is my place I come to every day. It's where I start. So let me show you my home page. My home page begins with reminders of what's my target audience, what's my proposition statement, um, what's my daily intention. I keep reminding myself of my daily intention. And then I have a daily workflow that helps me keep on track to figure out what I'm going to do when. I don't always follow it, but it's a reminder. And then on my homepage, I have the atlas, the map of content. So these are my major buckets. So one is hypnosis, because I'm a certified hypnotherapist. Another is memory consolidation, which I'm learning a lot about and studying that. Coaching, spirituality, focusing, and then I have some subcategories, so sub box. But these are areas where I've collected a lot of information and I want to be able to get to it quickly. Let me go down to, I have technology here. For example, under technology, I have various things I've subscribed to, when they're due, how much they cost, so I can quickly know whether I want to renew them or not. And so that's really convenient. So a lot of work these days is around the issue of artificial intelligence and ChatGPT and Claude and other resources like it. And so some asked about how do I keep track of all my various information flows from my artificial intelligence. So I have a mock here, general mock is AI resources. And under that, I have several sub mocks. For example, here's a sub mock about Notebook LM. That's a Google product, which is quite a fascinating thing. And then under that, I have a sub mock, and I have here's how to do some YouTube research. So if I want to remind myself how to do that, I can quickly get to it. So I can go back up here, back to my resources, and then AI prompts. I get a lot of prompts, suggestions of prompts, and some of them are about image prompts. So here's a prompt for Leonardo, how to do that. And so I keep it there so I can get to it. I remind myself. And I also do a lot of research. Go back up to my home and I'll go to, for example, I'll go here to focusing. If I can find it. Here it is, focusing. And I have some notes to myself on this page. So I have a subcategory of the implicit, which is fascinating, a study. And there's my note. It's easy to navigate it. I'm not going to take time to explain how to navigate it, how it all works right now. But I wanted to give an overview of how I've found out how to create this for myself. I'm sure there are other ways to do it. There are other technologies. I've seen some of them. It's more complicated than I want to do. And so I just wanted to give this as an overview of how I collect information and put my fingers on when I want it and do research. So thank you very much. I hope it's been helpful.